Tale of the Princess Kyogre. Kaguya? Cayuga? Kaguya. This is one of Studio Ghibli's more recent films. It's based on a 10th century Japanese legend called The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter about a guy who just finds a girl in some bamboo, and then he takes her home and he raises her, and she grows up really, really fast. She becomes like within, I think, like a few months, she's a teenager. For whatever reason, her new father assumes she's a princess, and so he tries to give her this princessy life, living in a mansion and having servants, which, as many Disney movies have taught us, is not all it's cracked up to be. She's very creative and very excitable, and when she's made to follow all these rules, it kind of bums her out. A lot of the movie focuses on just the relationships that Cayuga has with her family and friends, and it's all done pretty well, and you start to care about her a lot. And even though her dad makes a lot of bad decisions regarding how the princess should be raised, you can tell that he always does it because he just wants what's best for her. This girl that just showed up in the forest. She just showed up out of nowhere, and he's always saying, "Oh, praise be to heaven!" Like it's a literal miracle, and he just wants to hold on to it as long as he can and make sure he doesn't screw it up. But he does screw up. But he's still likable. I also really like the side characters. They're these noblemen who show up at the palace to try to win over the princess and make her their wife, and they're all really funny in how desperate they are and how they play off of each other. Now, I was actually already familiar with this legend because of a DVD we had called Big Bird in Japan, in which Big Bird actually meets Princess Kaguya herself. So I already knew how this film was going to end, but if you don't, I won't spoil it. Let me just say, it's, not fun. There are a lot of Disney movies based on stories with depressing endings like The Little Mermaid or The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and in the movie they always change it to have a happily ever after ending. But Studio Ghibli said, nah, that. It's a bummer, man. But I applaud Studio Ghibli for doing that, for actually sticking to the original story. The animation style uses a lot of watercolors, and it's a departure from the conventional anime style that Studio Ghibli usually does, but it really works. There's one great scene where she gets upset and she starts running really, really fast. And the animation changes and it gets kind of hectic, and it's really well done. This movie even does that thing that so often does not work in films, where something really crazy and dramatic happens, and then the character wakes up and is like, it was a dream! And usually that makes me go, oh, really? It did that? But it works in this. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I'm not even joking. And I know that kind of sounds crazy, because even though I've been talking positively about the film, I haven't been, gushing about it. But it's one of those things like My Neighbor Totoro or Over the Garden Wall, where it's just, there's not much to say about it. It's just a really, really good, strong piece of art. And especially if you're an animation fan, you should take a look at it. Something about this movie, though, is that it's over 2 hours long, and for most audiences looking to watch an animated film, that's pretty long, and I can see them getting bored. I wasn't bored at all, though. I thought it used its time perfectly well, but the general audience might not agree. I'm going to close this window because I'm cold.